This evening, first, global forensic experts eye Adriana Young's case. As the mystery surrounding 11-year-old Adriana Young's death deepens, her family's attorney reveals that 45 international forensic experts are eager to review the case, but will they find the answers her grieving family seeks? Plus, justice for Jeremiah. Stray bullet suspect charged with murder. Nearly a year after a stray bullet struck 7-year-old Jeremiah Gustave, the man accused of firing the fatal shot is now facing murder charges. What's next in this emotional case? Also, terrorism charges over violent protests. Attorney General Anil Nandlall defends the decision to charge over 40 people with terrorism following last week's nationwide unrest. But are these charges justified? Meanwhile, 5,000 body cameras for police transparency are trouble. President Dr. Mohamed Irfanani hands over thousands of body cameras to the Ghana Police Force, promising accountability. But will this technology restore public trust? Finally, India-Pakistan conflict erupts again. Deadly airstrikes shake region. Tensions reach a boiling point as India and Pakistan exchange deadly airstrikes with civilian casualties on both sides. Is this the brink of a larger conflict? Stay tuned. These stories and more tonight on Headline News Update. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for May 7, 2025. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the newly appointed attorney for the family of 11-year-old Adriana Young, Dr. Dexter Todd, has revealed that at least 45 international forensic experts have expressed strong interest in reviewing the circumstances surrounding the young girl's mysterious death at the Doubleday Hotel in Tucson. Earlier today, Dr. Todd met with the Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken to formally request a copy of the preliminary autopsy report and raise concerns over the ongoing investigation.
This morning, we met with the Commissioner of Police and two of the Deputy Commissioners of Police. Unfortunately, the crime chief could not be in a meeting. We want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he had other pressing issues. And therefore, the commissioner being the head of the force was not at this stage briefed enough to be able to engage and answer some questions that we and the families would have had. So the way of answering those questions is that we have been advised to put them in writing, and at some stage when the answers are available, the answers will be given.
The meeting today with members of the Ghana Police Force yielded limited answers for the family's attorney, as many questions were left unanswered. Dr. Todd spoke about some of the unanswered questions.
Who really is heading this investigation? Who the investigators are in this investigation? No answer. What really are you investigating? Are you investigating? Have you ruled out homicide? Are you investigating homicide? No answer. Samples have been sent overseas for testing. What tests are you hoping to be conducted from those samples? No answer. When likely would those tests be available? No answer. Is there a preliminary report available of the autopsy which was done? That is not yet been provided, it's not available. So we have no answer. Would you oppose us, of course, having a review of the autopsy? Well, we don't have the report, so no answer. So in a nutshell, the police force, all that they were prepared to see from the commissioner's level is that they are doing a comprehensive investigation, but they are not at liberty at this stage to say what really the comprehensive investigation will entail.
According to Dr. Todd, the global attention surrounding Adriana's case has prompted leading forensic pathologists and psychologists to volunteer their expertise. He emphasized that there is no shortage of international support and that the family is determined to ensure a comprehensive and transparent investigation. Nevertheless, Dr. Todd said there may be some challenges.
The challenge here is that we don't know. We know from what we have been seeing that there may be some challenges in the investigation. And I think one of the reasons we wanted to have this first conversation with the Commissioner of Police and the Crime Chief is to have an appreciation as to really where the shortcomings are, where our limitations are in terms of the investigation, and then see how the police force plans to involve the international community to bring in the experts in various areas. And I think that was quite disappointing that even days after this incident, we cannot say to the family whether the international community will be involved, presenting some form of assistance to aid the police force in a better and more thorough investigation.
While the cause of death has been determined, no preliminary report or toxicology report is yet available following the postmortem examination done on April 28th.
From my own experience, the toxicology report is going to take some time because the testing itself is a very thorough, lengthy process. I'm not too sure that they can get it back in such short time.
Adriana was reported missing on April 23rd while at the hotel with her family. Despite the search of the pool and surrounding area, her body was discovered hours later floating in the same pool. A postmortem examination concluded the cause of death was drowning. As a result, the family has questions. Dr. Todd, just a day before, criticized local authorities' lack of public communication, stressing that unanswered questions have led to widespread public mistrust and misinformation. He also raised concerns about whether forensic protocols were properly followed at the scene. A second autopsy, initially considered by the family, may still be on the table as international experts prepare to review existing findings.
That is a desire of the family. But of course, even a second autopsy will of course want to have an appreciation of the first report. I would think if one wants to be very thorough, that would be an important document. Not only the report, but of course the video showing the dissection and everything of the body. You would want to have that. So it doesn't seem as though even all these days after that the force is at a stage in which you can either advance the investigation further. We are not sure.
Over the days following the postmortem examination, several speculations were made as to the decomposition of the 11-year-old's body. However, Dr. Todd denied those.
We had a look at the body, and I can tell you, the body is good. The body is good. The body is not there. There are a few discoloration of the face, but outside of that, hands, feet. It's very well. It's not decomposed at all.
The family of 11-year-old Adriana Young had postponed her funeral schedule for Monday, May 5th to allow time for grieving and clarity amid ongoing investigations into her tragic death. In an emotional statement, Adriana's mother described her as the light of their lives and thanked the public for their support and prayers during this difficult time. Meanwhile, controversy has erupted over a false claim made by a nursing assistant who alleged that Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony authorized her presence at Adriana's postmortem. Dr. Anthony formally denied any involvement, and the Ghana police force confirmed that the nursing assistant was not present during the procedure, which was conducted by 3 internationally renowned pathologists and videotaped for transparency. Police issued a wanted bulletin for the nursing assistant, who has since turned herself in with legal counsel. Authorities believe her actions were intended to cause public mischief and hinder the investigation. As the investigation continues, Adriana's family is left searching for answers surrounding the circumstances of her untimely death. Dr. Todd has taken over the case from former attorney Darren Wade and said he is committed to ensuring accountability and justice for Adriana's family. On a different note, a mother may soon receive justice after the man accused of firing the stray bullet that fatally injured her 7-year-old son, Jeremiah Gustave, has been formally charged with murder. On Tuesday, Oda Garnett, also known as Crab, appeared before Principal Magistrate Faith Magusti, where the charge was upgraded from attempted murder to murder following Jeremiah's death on March 29, 2025. The child was struck in the head by a bullet on July 9, 2024, while sitting at his mother's food stall on Charles Street, Charlestown, Georgetown, during a reported shootout. After spending 8 months in a coma and undergoing multiple surgeries, he died at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Garnett, who has been in custody since October 2024, will return to court on May 27. The case had already proceeded to trial under the previous charge before the child's death. Meanwhile, Jeremiah's mother, Keisha Gustave, continues to call for justice, especially after charges were previously dropped against a second suspect. Stick around when we return. Attorney General defends terrorism charges over recent unrest and looting, and Ghana Police Force receives over 5,000 body cameras to boost transparency and efficiency.
Mother's Day, Digicel is turning up the love and cooling things down.
Imagine surprising mom with a brand new fully stocked fridge.
Digicel is making it a reality.
You can win one of 4 fully stocked fridges
worth over $500,000.
Just top up with $1,000 or more for a chance to win weekly. It's that easy.
Top up today. The more you top up, the more chances you have to win.
Happy Mother's Day from Digicel. Better connected.
GCOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. It is the civic duty and legal responsibility of all Guyanese who meet the eligibility criteria to apply for registration. By doing so, you would be ensuring that you are issued a national identification card and be included in the official list of electors for future elections, providing you meet all eligibility criteria. This registration exercise will end on May 30, 2025. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at another address since you were registered. For more information, contact the GCOM on 2250-27729 or visit www.gcom.org.gy.
Speak clearly with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Attorney General Anil Nandlall has defended the Ghana Police Force's decision to file terrorism charges against individuals arrested in connection with last Monday's unrest and looting across the country. Over 40 people have been charged with inciting public terror following violent protests. sparked by the findings of a postmortem examination on 11-year-old Adriana Young, whose death was ruled as drowning by 3 independent pathologists. In his program Issues in the News, Nandlall stated that the charges were in line with local laws and appropriate for the actions carried out during the unrest. He explained that the law clearly defines terrorism as acts intending to cause terror, death, injury, or property damage, which, according to him, accurately describe the actions of those involved in the protests.
Whoever, with intent to strike terror in the people or any section of the people, does any act or thing by any means whatsoever in such a manner as to cause or likely to cause death of or injuries to any person or persons, or loss of or damage to or destruction of property, commits a terrorist act. Which part of this here is excessive? Whosoever with the intent to strike terror in people, when you light the road afire and you robbing everybody that passing the road, when you go in people's supermarket and you rob everybody in the supermarket and the supermarket itself, when you got cutlass walking on the road and you chopping vagrants on the road, what you intend to do if not to strike terror in people in such a manner as to cause or likely to cause death of or injuries to any person? What you intend to do if you're not intending to kill or to cause injuries to persons or loss or damage or destruction of property? Once you do those things, the law says that you have committed a terrorist act.
He added that the charges were also meant to serve as a warning that unrest and looting would not be tolerated. The Attorney General emphasized that while protesting is a right, looting and creating fear among citizens and business owners would not be allowed.
Terror is defined as 1. Extreme fear or state of fear. Extreme fear or a state of fear. When those people can't go home and when the road is lit, when acid is being thrown at school children, when people's private property is invaded and set afire, is there not extreme fear or a state of fear? That's definition number 1. Definition number 2, intense or overwhelming fear. Intense or overwhelming fear. You go and ask the people who are the victims. Ask the people who are in the roadways, on the roadways, in the lines, in the properties that are being robbed. Ask them if they didn't experience intense and overwhelming fear. And the third definition, violent actions or threats designed to cause fear among ordinary people. Violent actions or threats designed to cause fear among ordinary people.
He further stated that the victims of the looting, particularly those who were affected by the violence, had experienced significant fear and distress.
I was on the road until 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was on Annandale Public Road, where persons couldn't pass because between Annandale and Buxton, they lit the road afire. Persons couldn't pass. They had to come back to Georgetown and sleep at different places along the East Coast. You think those people were not fearful when they drove up there and they saw marauding gangs with cutlass in their hands? They had face masks. They had face masks. And that is not fear. That is not terror. So I say to those who say that this is the wrong charge, I say to them, we couldn't find a better charge. There could not have been a more appropriate charge.
Moving on, 3 men were remanded to prison on Tuesday in connection with the September 2024 murder of Aubrey Richardson during a robbery in Yarrow Cabral along the Sioux-Cyclinian Highway. The accused, 19-year-old Carlton Antoine Sampson, also known as King or Cartoon, 26-year-old Dwayne Neil Winter, also known as Drizzle, and 36-year-old Brutus Taylor appeared at the Friendship Magistrates Court where they were charged with the murder. They were not required to enter a plea and were remanded until May 30, 2025. Aubrey Richardson, a 61-year-old minibus driver of Kururu Sioux-Cyclinian Highway, died on September 5, 2024, days after he was shot during an alleged robbery at a shop in Yarrow Cabral. According to relatives, Richardson had gone to Yarrow Cabral to assist a friend visiting from Letem and stopped at the shop to order food. While standing outside, he was reportedly shot by a man he appeared to recognize by voice. Witnesses say 4 suspects entered the shop, robbed the owner of money and jewelry, and quickly fled. Richardson, who was not robbed, was left injured at the scene and later taken to the hospital, where he died from septic shock due to the gunshot wound. An autopsy confirmed that the bullet had remained lodged in his body due to severe blood loss. In other news, on Tuesday, the Ghana Police Force received more than 5,000 body cameras from the government, marking a significant step towards modernizing law enforcement and enhancing public trust. President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali officially handed over the devices to Commissioner of Police Clifton Hickin at State House in Georgetown. He described the initiative as crucial for promoting transparency, accountability, and improved service delivery. The high-capacity cameras, which can record up to 10 hours, are waterproof and dustproof, will collect audio and video evidence for criminal, civil, and traffic-related matters. Existing standard operating procedures guide them and will be integrated into the Ghana Police Force's national security system using Wi-Fi, LTE, and 4G networks for real-time access. President Ali stressed that every officer on duty should be equipped with a camera, underscoring the government's broader goal of building a technologically advanced, service-driven police force. Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Ben, Permanent Secretary Andre Ali, and other Ghana Police Force and Ghana Defense Force senior officers were present at the handing over. Don't go away after the break. Catholics await next Pope as church debates tradition and reform. And U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell faces pressure as America awaits rate cut decision.
This Mother's Day, Digicel is stirring up the love and cooling things down.
Imagine surprising mom with a brand new fully stocked fridge.
Digicel is making it a reality.
You can win one of 4 fully stocked fridges
worth over $500,000.
Just top up with $1,000 or more for a chance to win weekly. It's that easy.
Top up today. The more you top up, the more chances you have to win.
Happy Mother's Day from Digicel. Better connected.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services. 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In South America, 5 Venezuelan opposition politicians who took refuge at the Argentinian embassy in Caracas have been successfully evacuated to the United States, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced. The U.S.-backed rescue mission ended their year-long standoff with Venezuela security forces who had surrounded the embassy. Argentina thanked the U.S. for securing the escape. The The 5 politicians who opposed President Nicolas Maduro had sought asylum after being accused of terrorist activities. The U.S. Federal Reserve will announce whether it will lower interest rates later on Wednesday. Chairman Jerome Powell has been pressured by the president to do just that. Trump has even threatened to fire Powell, despite the agency being protected under federal law. Al Jazeera's Patty Kulhan reports.
Will Jerome Powell be allowed to finish out his term? That is one of many questions driving the stock market and economic concerns in the United States. The chairman of the Federal Reserve, which is an independent body, sets interest rates in the U.S., basically the cost of borrowing money. U.S. President Donald Trump appointed him in his first term, but has made clear what he thinks of him now. On social media, calling him a major loser, writing that he is always too late and wrong when it comes to lowering interest rates, and in April, saying his termination cannot come fast enough. Powell has made clear if he's fired, he won't leave, but Trump responded,
"Oh, he'll leave. If I ask him to, he'll be out of there. But I don't think he's doing the job."
That had a huge impact on the stock market and on U.S. bonds, forcing Trump to change course.
No, I have no intention of firing him.
Trump's comments calmed the markets. The law says the president cannot fire members of the Federal Reserve without cause, such as neglect of duty or malfeasance in office.
Fed independence is going to be mandatory for our success. So to see the tone shift over the past few weeks has been stomach churning. We're glad to see that now Fed Chair Jerome Powell is not going to be at risk.
Powell has so far resisted the pressure to meet Trump's demands.
Our independence is a matter of law. Congress has, in our statute, we're not removable except for cause. We serve very long terms, seemingly endless terms. So we're protected in the law.
While Trump says Powell is the problem, the Fed now weighing the impact the trade war has had on the economy and what, if anything, they can try to do to stem the immediate damage to worldwide trade. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Tensions between India and Pakistan have escalated dramatically after India launched airstrikes across the line of control. At least 26 people have been killed on the Pakistani side, while India reported 3 deaths on its side. India claims it targeted militant training camps, but Pakistan says civilians and religious sites were hit, calling it an act of war. Al Jazeera's Charles Stratford reports.
This is one of 8 locations India says it targeted in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. At least one other hit deep inside Pakistani territory. India says it was targeting what it described as terrorist infrastructure 2 weeks after an attack at a popular tourist destination on its side of the disputed border killed 26 people. India says it has clear evidence the attackers were based in Pakistan. Islamabad has denied any involvement.
Earlier this morning, as you would be aware, India exercised its right to respond and preempt as well as deter more such cross-border attacks. These actions were measured, non-escalatory, proportionate and responsible.
Pakistan said India's response was unprovoked, an act of aggression that will not go unpunished.
We were apprehensive that India will attack Pakistan without justifiable cause, and they have done so. And Pakistan has defended itself.
In some places, the explosions knocked out power, forcing people into the streets in the middle of the night. Heavy shelling continued throughout the night and into the morning across the line of control.
We were all asleep when around 1 a.m. there was a sudden explosion and we got up and saw a cloud of smoke inside the house. Explosions kept erupting continuously everywhere. We ran away from the spot, but explosions kept happening till 4 a.m.
Pakistan says this is wreckage from one of 5 Indian aircraft Islamabad says it shot down. India has yet to comment on that claim. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.
The global Catholic community awaits the outcome of a new papal conclave, a decision that could shift the Church's direction for decades. Cardinals must now choose between continuing the progressive path set by Pope Francis or returning to a more traditional stance. Nowhere is this debate more alive than in the Philippines, a deeply Catholic country where Francis is warmly called Lolo Kiko, yet many progressive reforms remain taboo. Al Jazeera's Barnaby Lowe reports.
Mass after mass, vigil after vigil. Catholics throughout the Philippines flocked to churches for days following the death of Pope Francis. In one of the world's most fervently Christian nations, he touched the hearts of millions, especially with his trip to the city of Tacloban in 2015, as people were still reeling from the devastation wrought by Super Typhoon Haiyan.
We were touched when Pope Francis went to the grassroots, especially his fearless trip to Tacloban. Many people told him, don't go, but get stuck there. He said, no, I will go.
But his progressive views and embrace of marginalized people, including divorcees and members of the LGBT community, appear to be at odds with the conservative values the Catholic Church in the Philippines has been advocating. A divorce bill is languishing in the Senate despite the lower house passing it twice. And this is in no small part due to intense opposition from Catholic organizations. The Philippines remains the only country in the world, apart from the Vatican, where divorce is outlawed. Getting a bill mandating free access to sexual health services and contraceptives for Filipinos signed into law was also an uphill battle that took nearly a decade and a half to finalize. And more recently, a proposal to require sex education sparked outrage. Filipino Catholics who are on the opposite side of the fence to the church establishment say they found hope in Pope Francis.
He opened the door so that now people will be more accepting of what the Catholic Church is offering them.
But many of those who remain unquestioning of the conservative stances of the Philippine Catholic leadership also want the Pope in the mold of Francis.
You know, the Filipinos, we do not think in terms of who is liberal or who is conservative. I think we tend to view a religious leader in terms of family relations. So what was the nickname we gave to Pope Francis? Lolo Kiko, Grandfather Kiko, Grandpa Kiko.
Pope Francis didn't change a single word in the Catholic doctrine. But observers say his open and inclusive approach may not be universally accepted. And cardinals choosing the next pope may just be as divided about the way forward as everyone else around the world. Barnaby Lowe, Al Jazeera, Manila.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it to be to Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.